Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And following last night's draw against Juventus, now our attention turns to that absolutely vital game in La Liga on Sunday at the Mestalla against second place Valencia. That is a crucial game and one that we need to approach in the best possible way. And to be honest, looking at the decisions last night, looking at the likes of Lionel Messi on the bench, the way that we played, we were a little bit more conservative than possibly we imagined so. And looking at that game, you've got to wonder as well, maybe our attention was already on Sunday's game. Let's be honest, we went into the game last night. Of course, you want to turn up against Juve, but you have to believe that maybe the full focus, given the circumstances, is on the game on Sunday. Valencia have been fantastic in the league. Atletico Madrid are struggling. Real Madrid are struggling. They are our main competitors right now, and some people are writing them off, but the way they played so far this season, you can't afford to do that. And particularly as well, they don't have any European football. They've got no European football at all. Every single week, they've got nearly a week to prepare for games. They played last Sunday. They've had an entire week now to prepare for this game, and Marcelino, their coach this season, really has gone into every game with a perfect game plan. They're very well structured, they play good football, and we're going to have to be at our best if we're going to get the result that we need on Sunday. So the big question that I've come here today, guys, to ask you is simply, who should be that third man in our midfield trio? Because this season, for some reason, we just cannot seem to get it right. All summer long, a lot of us were here. I know you guys are with me. If you were, you'll know exactly what I'm going to say. All summer long, we were saying we need to buy a certain profile, a certain player in that midfield who can come in and play next to Iniesta and play next to Busquets. We didn't really go out and sign that profile. We were so close to Seri. It didn't happen. We didn't buy anybody, and now we're stuck with a bit of a dilemma. You know, you look last night, I spoke about it in my match review. Busquets, unbelievable. He is the perfect linchpin for defence, into midfield, and then creating an attack. Then you've got Iniesta next to him, who, even though he's aging, even though he's having to play more right now than maybe he would have expected to, maybe he's playing more than he really should be. We're stretching him a little bit, but even so, he was outstanding last night. He is brilliant in that kind of role. You can't ask for much more. So Busquets and Iniesta are superb this season. Really happy with their form. But the problem is, and the big dilemma is, that third spot in midfield. Just to the right of Iniesta, a bit more advanced than Busquets, somebody who can play on that right side of the trio in midfield, and somebody who can affect the game, keep things ticking over, cover it right back if need be, and just provide some general cover and some general control in that midfield. We are severely lacking that, and that is why I come here today with this question. Who should be starting as that third midfielder against Valencia? I'm going to be going through each player, putting a case forward for each of them, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below who you think should start the game and why. Please do let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I really do appreciate every single one of your comments, and you guys often make some very interesting opinions, so let me know those thoughts down below. But now let's get on to the possible candidates, and I have to say this list is very much reduced simply because of the injuries that we had. And I personally think when Sergio Roberto gets back from his injury, we have to give him a chance. We simply have to give him an opportunity in that third midfield spot, because right now he seemed like he'd be a great candidate. Andre Gomes is injured as well. Arda Turan is still on the injury list. Rafinha still isn't back to fitness. So I'm going to start with Ivan Rakitic. So far in the league, he's appeared in 10 games from the start. He's come on in 2. He has been involved in every single one of our La Liga games this season. He's played 946 minutes in the league, creating 3 assists. He got 2 against Espanyol, and he got a brilliant assist against Sevilla to set up Paco Alcácer. So far, no goals in the league, with a 90% pass accuracy. And in the Champions League, 3 starts so far. He's come on in 2 games, so he's appeared in every single one of our Champions League games so far as well. He's played 308 minutes in total in the Champions League, scoring 1 goal, providing no assists, and having a 90% pass accuracy in the Champions League as well. And the thing with Rakitic is, we probably judge him on the standards that we know that he can produce. When he first came into Barcelona under Luis Enrique in that first season, when we won the treble, you remember he scored in the Champions League final, he was sensational, and he really was. If you remember, he was in the team and Xavi was on the bench, and he was coming on and he was giving an impact in that way, Xavi, again, the end of his career. But Rakitic really was fantastic in his overall game. Defensively, he was astute, he was tactically sound, he understood his role brilliantly. But right now, I think not only now, but the past year or so, his level has dropped. And the thing is with Rakitic, we know that he can do better. We see glimpses of it. You look at the game against Sevilla, that looked like a game where he was really starting to get back to his best. He was playing forward passes. Like I say, he created a fantastic goal for Paco Alcácer, and we know he can do it. But I think right now, if you look at his game, he's suffering with a severe lack of confidence. He's not playing enough forward passes, he's not taking enough risks, and more often than not, he is choosing to play the safe option, and that's just not what we want from him. He didn't play well last night, and it's a real debate whether he starts against Valencia. And then you've got Paulinho, who so far has taken taken part in every single one of our league games bar one. He started 4 of the games and come on as a substitute in 7 of those. He's played under half of Rakitic's minutes, 412 minutes for Paulinho, 4 goals so far for him, and 1 assist. Those goals come against Getafe, Eibar, Athletic, and Leganes, and 1 assist, like I say, against Eibar. He has an 86% pass accuracy in the league so far. In the Champions League, like Rakitic, he's involved in every single one of our games so far. He's started 3 of them, he's come on in 2 of them. He's played 265 minutes in the Champions League so far. No goals though, and no assists so far in the Champions League for Paulinho, but he does have a 92% pass accuracy in the Champions League. And the thing is with Paulinho, I think, to be fair, when obviously we were linked with him, I think everybody was frustrated. A lot of people come on here saying that it was just me, but obviously when we were linked with Paulinho, we were all frustrated because, let's face it, he's not that profile that I spoke about at the start. But credit to him, and I do hold my hands up, when he comes off the bench, when he comes on for the final 20 minutes, when we're in a game we can maybe go forward a bit more and not have that defensive responsibility like in the big games, Paulinho has had an impact. He really has. You can't really doubt that. He's come on, he's got himself a few goals, he puts himself about, he works hard, he has a good combination with Messi, and you've got to say, you've got to give him a bit of credit. He's come here, he's got his head down, and he's worked hard. And fair play to him, I hold my hands up and very credit to him for that. But the thing is, in a game like against Valencia, is he going to have that impact for midfield? Is he going to be able to go forward as much as we'd like to see him doing that? Or is he going to be pegged back? Is he going to have Soler going the other way? Is he going to have Parejo picking passes here and there? Are we going to be able to play him in that 3 and trust on him to keep things compact, keep things ticking over? I really don't know. I don't think Rakitic is playing well right now. I don't think Paulinho in a game like this maybe would have the impact that we need. Maybe he could. Maybe he could go into that midfield 3 and cause them all sorts of problems going the other way. And that's the debate, really. That's how I want to know your guys' thoughts. Who really should start this game? Because it's well open. I don't think anybody is the glaringly obvious choice. I think we've got a number of options. I'm not sure any of them are world-class options. That's why we need to sign a player, I believe. But obviously, that debate is certainly ongoing. And then last but not least, I would say is probably the least likely option, simply because I don't see Valverde doing it. And maybe not in this type of game, but I would love to see this in a different game, maybe where we're experimenting a little bit and we don't really have as much pressure on us. I would love to see this put into effect. Denis Suarez, I'm going to mention, you all knew it was coming. Denis Suarez in a midfield, not in the position that I'm talking about, but I would like to see Iniesta go over to the right, Denis Suarez playing in that creative role, and a midfield trio of Busquets, Iniesta, and Denis Suarez. I would like to see Iniesta put over to that right-hand side of midfield trio and playing the more controlling role. We know that he can do it. He's been next to Xavi all those years. He's great on the ball. His first touch is impeccable. He can certainly keep things ticking over. And then you've got Denis, who's more of a creative player, who likes to have a bit of freedom, who's got a bit of pace, he can drift wide at times, and I would love to see that trio and how they would do in a game. Like I say, it might not be Valencia, but I would just like to see that at some point. Denis Suarez right now, for me, hasn't played as often as he deserves to. Every time that he's played, he's made some sort of impact. He's been involved in 7 league games in total, but only 2 of those from the start. He's played just 270 minutes in the league, which is barely a quarter of the minutes that Rakitic has received in the league so far. When he has been involved though, 2 goals and 2 assists so far in the league. Those goals coming against Getafe and Eibar, and the assists coming against Eibar and Las Palmas in front of the empty stadium, where I thought he was really outstanding on that day. And after that game, he wasn't involved at all for some strange reason. In the league, 84% pass accuracy, and in the Champions League, he's simply been involved in just the 1 game. That was Olympiacos away from home. He played 75 minutes on that day, and obviously no goals and no assists for him so far. And in that game, he had 87% of his passes completed. But I just think it'll be really interesting. I think he's one of the players who I think is very talented, who's got a lot of potential. Maybe he's not as great as maybe some of us are making him out to be, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve a chance. At the very least, he deserves some chances to prove what he's got. If he doesn't do it, fair enough, but he at least deserves the opportunity to go out there and have a go, simply because what we've got in midfield right now isn't that great, especially with the injuries that we've got and the certain circumstances in our squad. We clearly failed to look into a midfielder and bring in one in the summer. It's going to be interesting to see how things go in January, who departs the club, who comes in. I still think we're desperately looking for somebody to come in that midfield and really give us what we need. I think we're still missing something, but guys, let me know your thoughts. Who should start against Valencia and why? Rakitic, Paulinho, or would you do something with Denis and find a way to include him? Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I will see you very soon indeed with more videos as we build up to that big Valencia game. Sunday, 8:45 local time. It is going to be a cracker. But until then, Visca el Barça! 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 Barça!